Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And today we're going to be talking about dream porting. And what does that mean to you? It's like, how about your capacity to optimize your life with aligning within the laws of reality and awakening to your innate ability to really manifest from the deepest part of that knowing within your heart, that sacred fires that burns within. And then what prevents us from going to those places, from manifesting and creating there? And today's guest, Daniel Raphael, is he's a master at this. He has trained people that I love dearly. Some of who have you seen on the show if you've been following Beyond the Ordinary for a while. And he's also known as an energetic surgeon and alchemist whose transformative work helps people turn insecurities into superpowers. So he's been on a 13-year global journey from living in the jungle tribes to studying ancient manuscripts that have guided him through healing his own anxiety, depression, and autistic symptoms, ultimately shaping his unique system. So through Dreamporting, he also assists and he's an advisor for Fortune 500 leaders and teachers to over 50,000 students worldwide, and he's here on BTO, and it's been a while. We've been trying to get Daniel, we've been trying to connect over at least 4 or 5 years, and the time is just perfect right now. So y'all are here during a very special time. Something is activating, and I hope that you sit back, listen, receive, and we'll open up to Q&A a little bit later if you want to ask Daniel your specific questions, maybe about blocks, potentials that are opening up. And you're also going to learn about dream porting, which is super cool that I am excited to share with you today. And it's with that Daniel that finally we're here. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
It is such an honor to be here, and I'm so excited to share all the magic today with everyone listening. Thank you.
Okay, I want to get into dream porting, get into more definitions of that. But first, I want to dissect a little bit so the audience can become more familiar with you. You're referred to as an energetic surgeon. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, since childhood, I was able to see basically a holograph of reality. When people would come up to me, I could see basically the mechanics of how they're manifesting and their energy and their walls. And to me, it's like gears in a clock and all these layers. And so I feel like I came in with that gift and I developed it deeper by training around the world and just really going to pinpoint what exactly is the real issue that's blocking people from whatever's going on and help them alchemize it in alignment with those universal laws. So that's what I've been practicing for many years.
What are the universal laws as you refer to them as that?
Well, some of them you can read about in the Kabbalion or the Emerald Tablets. You know, basically like the law of polarity is a good one to mention just briefly as an example, because so many people, for example, say, "Oh, I want to be rich," but then you're actually telling yourself that you're poor or in scarcity, and so we're counter manifesting or we're manifesting the opposite as well of what we're trying to get, and that's why so many people are still stuck, even though they're doing all the quote unquote right things, even spiritually. And so once you harness and really integrate those laws, everything changes because you're actually in alignment with how reality truly works.
Hmm. Is that how dream porting was born? You created it based on these laws that you saw provided a framework for creation?
That was a big part of it. Finally, after having my dark night of the soul and on my own healing journey, when my life kind of burnt up, was when I really went deep into, okay, what is the mechanics? Like, what am I doing that's out of alignment? And also, I prayed to God and I
Hmm.
asked for a timeline shift. I just saw like this is going to take years of my life to just shift out of this. What just happened? You know, every part of my life just kind of fell apart, and it was a blessing in disguise. And from that prayer, I feel the divine gave me this map. I just wrote down every day clues on what to do, where to go, and just channeled. And I just followed that map. And in a couple of weeks, all of a sudden, I was wealthier, happier, and healthier than I've ever been in my life. Like everything just completely transformed. And so that's how Dreamporting was born. And the rest is history.
The rest is history. What did you find was like the impetus to create? I like calling it, for me, I call it when the dam broke open. And just like this potential that was lying dormant underneath that hadn't been awakened yet, that something just ignited it. Was there like a particular
Mm,
moment that just broke open and you just knew? Was there a surrender? Was it applying a particular principle? Because a lot of us, we're working on creating or we want a specific type of life or we know it's possible. And it seems like that brass ring is right in front of us, but we can't quite grasp it. And curious what
totally.
that was for you and potentially also for the people that you work with.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, for me, it was following that map for the first time. It was letting my soul guide me instead of my ego. And even though I was on the spiritual path for years and doing all the things that, we're so imprinted to react a certain way with people, or like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. But no, it's like the map is like, go to the waterfall at this time. So I went, and I met someone that changed my life. And every day it just, brought me to, a group of billionaires that became, friends and clients, and just opened up all these doors for me. And so it was just really listening and trusting and shifting to a new timeline, because most of us were doing all this work, but we're still stuck in a certain timeline, which is tied to a certain identity. And our identity, who we think we are, is actually not real. It only exists in our mind. We've lived thousands of lifetimes, most of us. And so it's really realizing that we can shift, just like a remote control, the frequency, and receive a new reality.
Where does it get beyond, like at what point does it go beyond doing the work? Because that's trying to produce a particular outcome in a particular timeline based on what we know, and surrendering to a greater possibility. Where do you notice that that becomes potentially something that gets triggered in the work that you do for your clients, and that new possibilities and new timelines arise that weren't seen before or accessible?
Yeah, I think it's all a matter of frequency and where it's coming from, because I feel the ultimate act of surrender is doing what we're guided to do, or sharing what we want to share. And it's not just kind of sitting back and doing nothing, right? So I feel like a lot of us were spinning our wheels doing things, but it's coming from that old energy of living in that duality and sticking in that old imprint. And when we shift to a surrendered state, the action comes from a more effortless place of alignment. And so it
Hmm.
really depends on the perspective we're taking.
That makes sense. And no matter how much that we think that we want to go towards something and we're following the right protocol, if you will, or these frameworks that help us to align in different ways, there's still those things that get in the way, those energetic blocks. And that's something that you really specialize in helping people to maybe identify, maybe identification isn't even necessary anymore, but how to break those logs that are damming that flow of becoming and creativity that's available to to again to release those blocks so that again greater potentials become more accessible.
This is crucial because they're invisible, and most of us don't realize they're even there, or how they work. They work in tandem, and it's from society, it's from our lineage, things that our parents and grandparents couldn't clear go through our genetics. It's actually imprinted there. And it's also karmic from different lifetimes. It's energy that we pick up in everyday life. And it's also biological. It could be from toxins. We want to cleanse our body. And lastly, also in the womb, it could be gestational. And what I see is it's both blocks that distort or block the flow of energy. And when that's why I take people into the body, because we can find the root of that, and it matches a part of our life that's blocked. But also there's also missing information. When we were a child, when we were a baby, we weren't raised in conscious communities, most of us, and we weren't raised with regulated nervous systems. And so we picked up so much of our communities trauma because they weren't filtering it out for us, which healthy society actually does in their biofield. And so it's actually just recoding and receiving the codes that we're missing, as well as dissolving the ones that we don't want. And every time we do that more and more, things just unfold in reality, because it's just a mirror of what's going on inside.
Mm. How do we receive the codes for that, and how do we remove the codes that aren't serving in that particular area?
The fastest way to receive or remove is to go into an awakened state, because when we dissolve space, time, and our identity, for example, then we're really limitless, and we can easily read, write our hard drive, so to speak. And if we're operating from the identity, we can get a little Reiki or, do these therapy sessions for years. And that's what I was doing, and barely getting by, and still really being stuck. And so being in the right perspective, that divine perspective, is which took me so long for me to realize, so I'm happy to share it right now, is I was on the healing journey for over a decade and spent $1 million and literally did thousands of things. And I was still coming from a place of needing to fix something, or even from that paradigm of healing, when in fact now I realize that the divine and I chose this to awaken and to be forged for my mission and so many other reasons. And so when we stop fighting and we just really accept and love ourselves in a deeper way and awaken, most of the blocks that we think we have automatically just go, because they're tied to that old identity. And the other ones are a lot easier to clear. And then we're able to then just like have a remote control that can just you just decide. It's like, give me this frequency. And that's what we teach in our school, to download specific frequencies, which is really beautiful to do, which then shift timelines for oftentimes very rapid miracles.
What are some of the techniques that you use to download those frequencies and maintain it? A lot of people listening to BTO, some of them have been listening for the last 13 years. And there's amazing teachers that come on and great techniques, but still there's something nagging, whether it's the relationship issue or finances or health, or I can't connect to my guides in particular ways. There's fine, let's get into a higher state of consciousness. Fine, let me work on repatterning my limiting beliefs. Let me go back and restore and have soul recovery. And there is greater access to the divine creator within themselves, but still there's like that a missing piece. Wh-
Yeah.
what is it about dream spotting and the work that you do that helps people get over the hump where that missing piece is just what's clogging everything else?
I would love to share the missing piece in a quick story. I was with a shaman I had just met. I was depressed, and I did a ceremony with the shaman from Africa, in an enhanced state on medicine. And in a couple hours, I just cleared so many things. I wasn't depressed anymore. And I said, "Hey, I'm not depressed." And the shaman said, "Good. Now go into the woman's body next to you and tell me what's going on with her." Because there was a woman laying next to me that I didn't even get to talk to because she was so sick. And I asked him, like, how do I go into her body? And he just said, don't ask how, just do it. And then all of a sudden, boom, I was there and I could see every little part of her. And I channeled precisely everything when it started, why it was happening. She was blown away. And what that taught me was the secret is about deciding. We've lost as a society a lot of our ability to just make decisions because we get caught up in the how. Well, it's like, how do we do it? Right. And so to make it as simple as possible, it's about just fully deciding. And when you decide, like, send me this frequency, it happens faster than the speed of light. And if there's a block between that, then it's just going and clearing the block. But once you build momentum, once you stabilize that awakened awareness, then you can get in that surrendered flow, which is the feminine, by also just deciding on things, the masculine, and collapsing that and letting them dance together in a beautiful surrendered life. And so that's really the secret is, and in the book Outwitting the Devil, it speaks about this. It's about just being decisive and fully deciding on something. The divine then creates miracles and makes it happen. And so it's just reconnecting with that is the key.
And for me, deciding is synonymous with surrendering. Because even with deciding, it's limited based on our thinking. And then surrendering, we open up into a greater will to something that's being presented, but that our fight or flight response and the way that we want to manifest based on that reptilian energy keeps a narrow focus on what's available. And there's something greater beyond that as we not only decide, but understand the surrender in the decision as well.
Exactly. I think it's two sides of the same coin, the masculine and feminine, perhaps, quality of trust, which is the
Mhm.
ultimate code to reality. And
Mhm.
so you get that. Once you decide, you can then more viscerally experience and surrender to it deeper and whatever else wants to come from those choice points.
What are some highlights of clients that you work with or people that have gone through the dream porting experience that are just notable for you as far as the shifts that occurred for them?
It's really beautiful. I hear about them just we just did an event a few days ago where someone's knee pain that's been there for 8 months just instantly completely dissolved. And there's a lot of bigger health things, but I don't want to make any of those claims, right? So I'll just leave those for people to share. But as you know, activating their purpose, getting clarity on their purpose, I think is a huge one that so many people are looking for. And it just is able to come when we clear those blocks. And also financial abundance. There's so many people that they just tripled their income or just got filled up for 6 months or manifested millions of dollars just by clearing the block and not really doing anything else besides going into that alignment. And my favorite is just like activating their gifts, because it all comes back to why are you here. And when you activate your unique gifts that you came in with, that you're here to share more, it's just so beautiful, because there's no better feeling than just sharing your gifts when you're in the right
Mm.
environment.
Yeah, for me, it's giving from our overflow of those gifts and what's
Yeah.
available to us. And it becomes this beautiful circuit of expanding that divinity and that light within us. We talked about clearing blocks, and maybe I need to hear it like I'm a 10-year-old. But you talked about people filling up their cups financially from removing an energetic block. Take me through a process of removing a block and what that may look like in a session or in this process of dream porting with you.
Yeah, an easy way to do it is I call in my divine helper team, which makes everything easier. And I like to use some new advanced frequency technology just to get people in the right brain waves very fast and be able to just really go and journey to the root of the block. So you feel it in your body, and then you trust and tune into what is the root of it. And some people get a message, some people get a memory. A lot of people get that. And it could even be a past life memory. And then what we do next is we recode it. And so there's different creative ways to do that. I actually majored in screenwriting. So a big part of this is just, it's an art more than a science, and just being creative, because your imagination is so powerful. Actually, it shifts reality. And so we get creative and just kind of redo a scene. You can actually change a memory, and it changes the whole branch of time. And there's
Mhm.
different energy techniques that we can add to that. And then basically you integrate that part of yourself, because that part of us has been uh, putting up a wall, for example, right? That's been blocking abundance, blocking intimacy, even though all we're doing is scrolling, trying to get more of it. And so you're learning how to take the brakes off. And it's by integrating those parts of us that have compensated from the past, usually from not feeling safe. And it's about restoring your divine awakened adult self so that those parts of you feel safe to surrender, which a lot of people forget when they do inner child work. So they keep focusing on the inner child, but they're just waiting for the parent to show up, right? So those are a few of the steps. And then integrating it with action and rituals also is really beautiful.
Action is the cherry on top because we have to be able to carry that forward and train the body also that action taking ability to demonstrate that is available in creating that new reality. Um, you talked about taking people into an entrainment process through advanced entrainment techniques. Wh- What modalities or tools do you use for that entrainment to put people into a state of receptivity and integration during these processes?
I like to use a few different layers. And, one of them is the frequency technology I use from one of my friends is Dr. Jeffrey Thompson, who I think is the best sound healing engineer. And he actually discovered new brainwaves that we never heard of, like epsilon, which increase your precognition and manifestation abilities 373% in just 15 minutes. So I play things like that, which makes my job a lot easier. And also with agreement fields and working with angels, which I do a lot of, it helps people. Most people say they just kind of feel it right away. They just drop in right away, because you just open that portal, and it allows them to really feel safe and just journey and clear the mental chatter. So it's basically remote energy transmission and frequency technology and support of our friends upstairs.
Well, speaking of our friends upstairs, because we are in a community that tends to be on the high spectrum of esoteric awareness. And so, from this place of clearing those blockages, what have you found in yourself and in clients also of their connection, in particular to their path and the guidance that may come in from, we can call it higher self, we can call it from divine guides and helpers, or we can call it straight from God and through aspects of Christ consciousness that are becoming um, more ignited within our understanding of our capacity to create.
I love that question. I connect directly with God, and I feel like the angels. It's kind of like if God is the piano, the angels are a different key on the keyboard or a
Mm,
different color on the canvas. And sometimes it's easier for our human mind to play one or two notes at once to just get those frequencies. And so, what I found for me personally, and a lot of people I work with, is connecting with different angels have really helped me to just purify and activate my intuition and so much more. And I actually decoded ancient scripts, and I tried different initiations on my own for years, as my kind of wizard hermit in the forest would do. And
mm,
one of them was the Essene Gospel of Peace, which is they said in the Bible it's not one of the real books, but for me I got more truth bumps from it than anything in the actual Bible, which they've changed many times for various reasons. And so in there, Christ has a protocol working with specific angels to purify your body, your emotions, and then your mind, the three different layers to achieve that Christ consciousness embodiment. And so he's basically giving you the protocol, like, here's what I did. And it's just so powerful. And I've been working with that, and it just completely opened me up to so many beautiful miracles. And then sharing that with the world, everything just kind of changed after that. So that's really
mm.
beautiful.
And I really appreciate your understanding of the ancient techniques and the different gospels that came in. Actually, there's a book that predates the Pistis Sophia, which some of y'all may be familiar with, which is the Book of You. And this is a really dense book that was transcribed, and it was the teachings from Christ after he was resurrected to the apostles. So they're high level teachings of techniques and alchemy that's necessary to cross the different gateways for ascending consciousness. And so those are becoming more available to us now than ever before. It seems like we've gotten into a point where enough of us have gotten to a state of consciousness that we're able to access and understand this alchemical process and these techniques in ways that we weren't quite equipped or wired to start applying them. And curious what you're finding in the people that you're working with. Obviously, it's something that you're applying in some of your own personal work, but I'm curious what you're seeing in clients that you're working in as well.
Yeah, well, in the groups, which I do my best because everyone's so different, we have a 97% success rate on our first meditation, the first opening meditation we do, that significantly changes their lives. And a big part is because we use those angels and help them align with those alchemical laws, often for the first time, because so many people are living in that duality and trying to drive with the brakes on. And one on one, it's really beautiful. Right now, I just work one on one with just a few people because I want to support the bigger impact. And I'm advising a few consciousness tech companies that the new technologies coming out are just insane and mind blowing. That can literally transmit frequencies and scan and heal people, just kind of like Star Trek technologies. And so that's what I'm focusing on and getting those out there. And from my purification, I'm able to basically just scan and remote view whatever's needed to just kind of and then realign anyone on the team or issues happening with different people. And it's just kind of like how they did it in ancient times, with the different countries had wizards and oracles, and they were actually some of the most revered and highest paid even professions. That, and I'm only mentioning that because now there's so many of us struggling. And we went through the witch hunts, and now we went through just people laughing at us and not believing it's real. And now there was like the coaching industry that kind of came up, and now it's kind of shifting. And I feel like it's really the oracles and the mystics that are on the up and up, that are really aligned and purified, because that's what the world really requires right now, because we're
Mhm.
timeline shifting as a collective. And it's time to really honor your gifts and why you're here, and share them.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And just as an example, y'all, it's if we believe five timelines were possible and that's what we were navigating, trying to jump between one of those, what you're carrying in your capacity to hold something beyond and see, you're seeing that there's 6 through 15 other timelines that are possible, and you're seeing how luminous each one in particular is to see which one you want to jump onto. So our power of choice to see beyond even an esoteric linear pathway into something beyond that is becoming quite profound and more commonplace than we realize. And so having these conversations and inviting us into these places where we activate our superpowers and we can see into our future and activate it now instead of waiting for confirmation through a linear validation. It's powerful, Daniel.
It's such an exciting time because we now have access to all the information. Even AI, it's a double-edged sword, but it can also serve us if we use it in the right way. But I like to say that ultimately people are overusing it, and we have something better called Chat DMT in our pineal gland, where we can literally get so much downloaded to us. If we just, we have to just kind of change the oil in our car. We have the best cars in the world, but if you don't change the oil, you're going to think you have a bad car. And it's time to really purify ourselves physically, mentally, and energetically because of all the stuff we're bombarded with. And then you'll come
Mhm.
back and like, wow, like I'm just flowing. It's life is so beautiful once we clear those imprints, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. What I do love about AI, and I saw it from the beginning, is that the quality of our questions dictates the quality of our responses that we get back. So it's really in training us to be more specific, to be more clear with the feedback that we're looking for, so that feedback can come to us. And that when we activate again our own AI, our own inherent DMT and consciousness through, I'll call it Christ consciousness, it's a powerful combination that we're activating a place from not just receiving only what we believe is available, but we are creating new realities through what's coming through us in the questions that we ask and our willingness to receive a response to it that's in alignment with it.
100%.
So
Yeah.
it's powerful what comes through. Um, I want to get into Q&A because some audience members may come in and have specific questions about what you're speaking about, but you also have a capacity to tune into people and their questions. And do you see like limiting beliefs that come up? Do you see potentials that arise? What happens when you show up in this capacity, Daniel?
It really depends, depends how I'm feeling and the person, and never really know what's going to come up. So,
Okay, a little bit of everything.
yeah.
Let's start getting into some Q&A and we get to experience you in this. And then, y'all, we're gonna get into a special offer in a little bit because it's what's what Daniel is sharing through Dreamporting. And I really appreciate it, Daniel. Again, you're right about it's like remote viewing your future self and bringing it into the present, which is a powerful shamanic technique, and it's not that difficult to access if we're just aware. Really accessing more of that superpower and higher level consciousness within ourselves, and then how to activate that, and not just activate it, but keeping it buzzing within our system so that our power to not only glimpse a creation, but to hold it steady and to allow it to expand beyond what we see is powerful, y'all. So again, we'll get into the special offer in a little bit. But Daniel, if you're down for it, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of Q&A. And Dana, I want to start with you. Welcome to today's call.
I'm honored, John. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And Daniel, Raphael, your last name alone invokes the angelic realm for me. Loved how focused you are about shadow work and pinpointing blocks. And one of the things that I'm coming to in my life is nothing left to heal. Alignment. It's all here now. It's about authentic expression of me as the most alive I can be and the gift that I can give. And so I'm seeing everything and what I call joyful living world. And that
Mhm.
it's about community and coming into spaces like this and authentically sharing from our heart the wholeness that we are. And I'm curious how, because I love all of the things that you're talking about, and I so know the different tools to help. And how do you encourage us to expand beyond that fourth dimension of fixing and healing into, wow, we're here now, we're multidimensional beings, we're focused on love. What I see around me
Mm.
is what I choose, and I choose to see pronoia, that the entire universe is supporting me.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, instead of answering it, how about we embody together? Are you open to a little
Go!
activation?
Nice.
Yes. So why don't you close your eyes for a minute? And I want you to feel just your nervous system. And we're just going to take a breath and just slow it down a little bit, because there's that, all the work that you've done. And then there's that younger girl that wasn't really supported in sharing her gifts, right? That's what I'm feeling first. And so that's still there, right? And so let's just really feel into that and see where you feel that in your body.
Solar plexus, abdominal, what I'm birthing as I transmute
Okay,
this.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just feeling that, going to the solar plexus. And I want you to let it show you that root memory of when it started. And just in a few words, I want you to tell me who you're with.
My father.
Okay, good. Yeah. And so we're going to just let the divine and the angels come in and show you that, right? He just had his own stuff going on. He wasn't sharing with you, but he wasn't able to really hold,
Yeah,
right,
right.
everything that you wanted. And so you created that compensation mechanism,
Exactly.
that cocoon. And now you're too big for the cocoon, right? So
Right.
let's just talk to that little girl and just say, thank you. Thank you so much for protecting me all these years. And I'm here now. And I want her to feel your adult self that's done all this work. Show her that, right? And let's just see if we can just take some deeper breaths and just let it slow down so she can just really feel your presence. There we go. And we're going to send some energy now to just give you that missing information, that information of a conscious father that can help you just really be still and present to move forward with the deeper mission that you're here for now, right? And just stay focused on that. So we're just going to breathe it in now. Just imagine this golden light coming in and just feel it come into the solar plexus there. There we go. And just feel it move all the way up and down your spine, just fully integrating, almost like you're waking up from a dream. And this part of you now is reconnecting. And anyone here listening, they're receiving that too if they need it. Just take a deep breath. Nice, Dana. So just in a few words, how are you feeling now?
Embodied. Thank
Mm,
you, Daniel.
yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So just keep
Mm.
watching that, slow it down a little bit, and you'll see that it's just that little girl just needs that reassurance sometimes. And that's what's going to help you remember who you are and just move forward now with the beautiful mission you're on, which I feel is really big.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Dana. And if I may be so bold, Dana, and anybody who's in the experience, allow it to keep going. I know you said you feel embodied, but I feel that there's more coming through.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Every day, the journey, because it is the DMT, right?
But in
It's
this
the sacred
particular
union.
process,
True.
come back
Yes.
and listen to the replay and allow it to do you instead of you thinking you need to do it, right?
Hmm.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need to do anything. Just let it do you.
Fall
Let it
back into
do
those
you.
waters.
Yeah,
Message
for
received.
sure.
Thank you.
Which is Daniel, it's really interesting also because again, as being experienced in plant medicine journeys also, it's like I, I never went in with the ego thinking that I was going to do the journey. I just kind of always knew that I was going to surrender. And and that seems a lot where we're being called to, and I'm certainly that's my walk right now and on this path is to know that I'm not really doing any of it. I'm the experiencer of what's being presented to me from the divine, and I'm uniquely encoded for certain experiences, which winds up being an amplification of that divine as I choose to surrender as much as I can to it. And so, what's your experience in that surrender, Daniel? When do you know that you're not the one that's doing it and that it's doing you?
That's such a good question. Well, it's a, as you experience those moments of true surrender and divine alignment, it's a certain frequency, and it's more subtle, it's more clean than
Mm,
those more gross sensations of like, oh, I want to do this or I want to manifest this, which can come from the ego or from just uh, what we think is a missing piece of us, which is really just waiting for us to reconnect within ourselves. And so slowing down and really being regulated, I feel is a foundation for that, so that we can actually really tune in and stop replaying the same cycles to really allow that surrender to flow through us deeper.
beautiful. Dana, thank you for initiating this and blessings to you. You're awesome. My God. Um, all right, let's continue now. Let's go to Lavon. Lavon, welcome to the call. Is it Lavon or Lavon? And please correct me. And if I can ask you to unmute your microphone, please. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. Hi. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
What can be done about the fears that bleed through from other lifetimes? Like I have the witch hunt and being locked in small places, and I'd like them to just be gone.
Let's do it.
All right.
Awesome. There you go.
I just go for it. Okay, so why don't you close your eyes? And I want to invite everyone to be a part of this. So if you want, take a moment to call in your angels and guides. You can place your hands close together like this, and just imagine Lavon is in between your hands, and you're just channeling pure love and divine energy for her. And Lavon, I want you to just focus on where you feel that fear in your body as this
In my
divine
heart,
energy
in
starts
my
flowing.
chest.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just imagine you're jumping into a beautiful lake of your heart and just follow it. We're going to move, let the angels take your hand and move you to the root of this past life when this started. And I want you to just take a nice deep breath and let it come to you.
One is Egyptian. Being locked in a tomb.
Mm-hmm. But you've been to that one already. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's an even deeper one. Let's go even farther back.
This lifetime, my throat, my voice has been my block, I'll
Mm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
So something's been run through here.
Yeah. Do you know why they put you in the tomb there in Egypt?
Mhm. Something to do with death, but I'm not sure if it's mine or
Well, you were
someone
still alive,
else's.
right? So,
Yes,
what it
yeah.
was showing me is that you were there at the turn when it was a pure mystery school, and then it got very distorted. And so that was the turning point when the kind of dark side took over, and you were fighting for the truth, and then that happened. And so you're here to do that again. And the good news is that you don't have to go through that anymore. You don't have to
Been
see.
in trouble for that many times, fighting
Mhm.
for the truth.
Yeah. Well, we keep having that experience because it's unresolved, but I'm saying we can clear it right now, and then you actually can experience the beauty of doing that and being received. So you ready?
Ready.
Okay, so everyone, I want you to just feel Lavon's throat in between your hands now, and we're just going to channel the energy to clear that imprint And what I want you to do is just to imagine a version of her where her voice is free and she's completely safe speaking her truth. So I want you to just find that version of her, and we're just going to see that in this present moment. How does that feel? And Lavon, I want you to feel that too, and just realizing that everything is just a lesson from the divine. We're going to thank that past lifetime. We're going to thank all those people for showing you where you get to free this part of you and surrender. And we're just going to send it love. And I want you to take a deep breath and make a sound when you're ready to. Just release it out of your voice. Ah. You got this. You're safe to let it go. You can do it whenever you're ready. Deep breath. Ah.
Oh, it's lighter.
All right, we're halfway there. Let's keep going. I want you to really push it out. You're safe to make a loud sound, okay? Yeah. That's about 20%. 25%. 26%. See if you can actually feel the anger. I want you to connect with the anger of being in the tomb, of being blocked. Do you want that to keep going, or are you done with it? This is your moment to say no.
It feels like a lot.
A
That's
loss?
really big. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
this is big. This is a big moment for you. You signed up for this moment. Can you love yourself to choose to be free? Okay,
Yes.
so I just want you to take a deep breath and scream, no!
No!
Oh, there you go. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Now feel that energy flowing. We're just releasing it.
My
And we're just
animals are looking at me.
yeah, they're proud of you. And now we're just gonna seal it up with that missing information of just that safety now. Because you're speaking the truth right now, and you're surrounded literally by people all over the world that love you and are cheering you on. They're just so proud of you. So I want you to just breathe that into your heart and feel that. Yeah, just let yourself feel that we're safe now. Everything was just a dream, and this is the only moment that's real. And you're completely safe and loved. And you're so ready just to be you. So how does that feel?
Liberating.
And how does your throat feel?
It feels good.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone on the call.
You're welcome. Thanks for being our proxy for that.
Okay.
And what's available. And thank you for sharing. And for opening up and daring to use your voice to release, because it can be uncomfortable. We're not used to vocalizing, or not used to heavy sighs, or even the loud no's, and the permission that you gave yourself, even though it was uncomfortable. It's a teaching tool, a learning tool for us to also give ourselves permission. And you said it's a lot. And again, just a very simple perspective for all of us. Something may be coming up that feels uncomfortable, but it's been a lot for all these lifetimes. Would you not rather have that one moment of being uncomfortable, just letting it go and activating that part of you that's ready to awaken? Or are we going to keep shrinking into, I don't know, it's uncomfortable. It's kind of a lot. I don't know. I'm kind of self-conscious about it. Like the ego wants to play all these things. And the decision point, Daniel, that we have to make the choice. Are we willing to break through? If not, we're aware that we're willing to let it linger.
Exactly.
We're really coming to that point in our society. Are we willing to break through? Or are we willing to let it linger? Are we willing to wake up 5 years from now, half asleep, going through all this, wondering how we got to where we got to, and not liking the bed that we're waking up in?
Mm.
Or are you really ready to go through that part that it's not just uncomfortable, but it's also liberating, where we're activating a higher potential, where you become a more powerful creator and manifester of the reality that you are choosing to navigate in, rather than being handed somebody else's interpretation of how the world is supposed to be and saying, okay, since you created it, I guess I'll just go ahead and do that.
Mm.
We've done that for far too long. And we are waking up into an evolutionary state of consciousness that we have access to now, and to go through all these breaks and to decide to go through them and graduate to the next level of our becoming because we can. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. And I'm just calling that forward in all of us. We are at a point that our capacity, our technology within ourselves has surpassed anything that would keep us back in the Stone Ages, in the Dark Ages, without communicating in ways that we felt that we didn't have any input on. And we do, and it's available to us, and it's exciting. And I'm just saying all this because I'm I'm thumping the pulpit for all of our becoming and awakening and activating and creating what we know is possible in the highest benevolent way. So Lavon, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Okay, let's continue. I'm going to take another caller. We're going to get into a special offer because y'all dreamporting what Daniel's offering here. This is all empowerment and these breakthroughs that are possible. So I want to spend some time on that, but we'll go back to Q&A afterwards also. So y'all be patient. There's a lot of great questions that came in, and these processes are, I'm finding, are just amazing right now. Um, Sass, Katie Sass, I want to go to you now. Welcome to the call.
Hi, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
So for like the past 30 years, I've been trying to figure out how to heal my exhaustion.
Mm.
I'm wondering if you have any insight of what to do next, or
Yeah, let's go into it.
yeah,
So let's close your eyes for a minute,
okay.
and everyone can join in just sending Katie some divine energy and love. And just follow that energy, and it's going to show you where in your body the root of that exhaustion is located.
My heart's like beating super fast.
Yeah, good. So I want you to ask your heart what happened where you basically had to kind of put the brakes on and kind of fight with yourself there. What memory's popping up? When did it start?
I don't know, but I'm not used to this feeling. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's okay. What happened?
Yeah, just feel it for a minute. Don't rush it.
It's just pretty uncomfortable. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is.
It's showing you exactly what it is. You just got to slow down a little bit. Just take 30 seconds, don't talk, and
Okay,
just breathe. Just go into it. We got you.
thank you. Like something's holding me down.
Yeah. Let's ask that something. Why are you here?
It's almost like I'm trying to swim up to the top and something's holding me down.
Yeah. So let's ask that thing holding you down. Who are you? Why are you here?
Who are you? Why are you here? It's like it's trying to keep me small. Like,
Mm-hmm. And why is that?
um, okay. um, like it doesn't want me to come out and speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's trying to hide me away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to let that go?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let's do it. So, by the power of the holy angels, we command that all energies, entities, and blocks in your being, in your mind, body, and soul that no longer serve your highest good be dissolved and return to God and the highest source now on all timelines and dimensions. So it is done. So it is done. So it is done. Take some deep breaths. Just let it release from your body fully.
Oh. Like a
Nice. There it goes.
laugh now. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So you had a little, gremlin in there that's
yeah,
gone. And the most important part is we don't want it to come back. And so you want to do that work to find out, when in your life did you have that vibrational match of being told to kind of shut off a part of yourself, right?
yeah.
So I'm glad you're feeling better, but I want you to really journal about that and go into that, because that's going to really integrate the deeper aspect of it, right?
Okay.
And then you'll realize that your energy is coming back, because again, it's just there's something of a match of I need to fight myself, right? And so
Yeah.
we're going to tell that part of you now in your heart, the war is over and I've got you, right? So just take a moment to say that to your heart.
Ah, where's over? Thank you so much.
Mm,
Mm.
I'm glad your energy is coming back. Can you feel it?
I do. I
Yeah,
didn't raise my hand because I was feeling so tired.
right, right. But that tiredness can sometimes be the ego or the oppositional force. So I'm so grateful that you chose you, and it's a great example to take the leap, right? Even if we feel or have a thought telling us not to, really trust and love yourself. What would love do, right? So great work.
Thank you so much.
Blessings to you, Katie. And
Oh,
use that mantra. That was one of my favorite mantras that I used when I was really healing and understanding a lot of the shadow work that I was going through. And it's the mantra is the war's over. The war's over, and just like resting into it. It's like you're retraining your nervous system in a new way, and you're trusting and believing yourself in that, which is wonderful. Danielle, I want to ask you, when she goes back in journals and finds those mirror points in her experience, uh, what should anybody bring in? Is there an experience of understanding, forgiveness? Is it just a vibrational accord, understanding that we're in a different place? What would help someone to integrate from a place of empowerment rather than reliving the experience?
Yeah, well, sometimes it's good to feel and express any emotions like anger before we go to forgiveness. Forgiveness is super important.
Yeah.
And it's the same as really understanding, because at the end of the day, if you really look at it, save you 5 ayahuasca journeys, the people that did the worst things to you signed up to help you wake up and had their memories erased and had trauma and are just part of this giant theater. And doesn't mean that's good or that you have to make boundaries or block someone, but it means that we can let go of the poison in our hearts and give it back to God and go on with our journeys, realizing that we're here and it's made us stronger, and there's the gift from it. So the last step is asking yourself, what is the gift that came from this, right? And that gratitude will transmute it and allow you to learn the lesson so you don't have to cycle it anymore.
Hmm. And I really appreciate that you brought in feeling the emotions, whether it's the sadness, the anger, the betrayal, whatever it is, and letting that come through us, because a lot of times those emotions are part of our superpowers, but we repress them because we don't want to be that which we experience from another. So that is part of the alchemy is super important. Incorporating all the other aspects, obviously, that you mentioned as well and guided us through. So that's wonderful. All right, y'all, we're gonna get into more Q&A in a little bit, but let's go into a special offer that you're gonna find out more about Dreamporting and how it's available to you through this program that Daniel's created, that he's guided a lot of his students through. I can't imagine how many hundreds. And we get a special price on BTO. It's valued at over $600. We're getting it for $144, but more than that, it's value in what you're going to receive and liberates and activate within yourself. That's where the real value is. And so, Daniel, guide us through what you've created, what people are going to receive, and why it just touches your heart that people are receiving this.
Yeah, well, this is my first course, our flagship course. That's a 30-day timeline leap. So this is the timeline shifting course that takes you through with We made a unique soundtrack with Elijah Ray, one of my favorite musicians, and all these
Mm.
different brainwave and next generation frequency technologies. And it takes you to, it has some long meditations to help you purify and clear your blocks, like we talked about, and get that missing information and then shift timelines. And in the first week, you actually learn to remote view the future, which is so cool. And you draw a treasure map of the month, you channel it, and that's going to guide you. And so we've had thousands of people have their lives changed from it. A lot of people, like, their face changes. We have a lot of photos of people's faces actually change in just a month because they're in a new timeline, right? You can even see, with the last caller, for example, they look different, right? In just 5 minutes, and it's all energy. And so it's a guided, gamified, really fun way to ritualize your life. And some people do it every month, actually. Like some of my friends, they timeline shift every month now because they just tune into the highest timeline for the next lunar cycle. So that's really an amazing share that I'd love for you to experience if it resonates.
So Dreamporting, y'all, you can see a description there. And I didn't mention you, most of y'all know how to access the special offer, but right underneath where you're watching the video, there's a special offer button. Click on that. You can always go to the marketplace to find the special offers as well. And that's at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. You'll find Daniel's picture, click on the special offer button, and you'll be able to access again this particular protocol that works for so many in shifting and timelines. Daniel, how is this delivered? Is it videos? Is it audio? Is it PDFs? What are people going to go into receive?
It's all of it. There's videos, audios, and PDFs. So there's a guidebook, and there's classes, and there's really short meditations too that you could do every day to reprogram yourself and start also manifesting, obviously, a lot of miracles from it, because you learn how to just shift timelines every day and just go about it from a new version of yourself, the true version of yourself. So
Mm.
everything in your reality starts to change the more that you do that.
And in the videos, audios, it was like, should people set aside an hour and a half, 15 minutes? How does it typically work as far as an investment in time and whatever
Mhm.
expectations people have as
Yeah,
they
I
get
like to
in?
make it short and sweet. So there's about an hour of lessons and about 45 minutes to an hour of meditation that you do once a week, and that you can then go to the next module every week of the month. And then there's maybe a 10-15 minute meditation you can do in the morning or evening if you want, and a few optional rituals. So it's designed to just kind of weave in a little bit so it doesn't take up too much of your time, but really gets you the results.
Amazing. Yeah, the special offer, $144 with a two payment option, 30-day money back guarantee on everything on BTO. But this is pretty special. And I can really feel some of the techniques that you're using and descriptions on there. I'm actually excited to experience your version of it as I have different versions of mine. And so learning something new to be able to go deeper from a foundation that feels good and maybe even make that foundation stronger. But again, learn something new to go deeper and higher simultaneously is exciting for me. And again, there's so much more that no matter where we are, that we're accessing and having intimacy with in creation. And so it's wonderful. A question of caution, Daniel. I'm curious, as you have clients shifting timelines so quickly, how is that affecting their creations of the past or their relationships that they're in, or even what they resonated before in the place that they live now, but all of a sudden it's like, I don't know if this works for me anymore. Is there something that's integrating that provides a grace for the shifts where everything doesn't have to crumble because we're building so quickly?
That's a great question. Well, we obviously want to make it with grace and ease, but sometimes people have built up their lives in a way where a lot of what is happening is just not aligned and not their truth anymore. So sometimes it's got to crumble, but we could do it in a way where we surrender to it, and it could be a lot easier and faster. And so, when you do a timeline shift, in my method, you really connect with the divine, and so you're really just surrendering to what's in your highest good, and we make sure it's not from the ego. And so, when the shift happens, then you're kind of like walking backwards, and you shifted your anchor point, but there's still a lot of things in your environment that are reflecting the old timeline. Sometimes relationships radically shift all of a sudden, they treat you differently. And some of them might even treat you worse because they're showing you the gap now, right? They're trying to pull you back. And so that's when you get to integrate and be more authentic, which is the highest frequency you can embody, and trust that what is no longer aligned, you don't have to settle anymore, right? You're basically raising the bar and trust that there might be a little gap in between a relationship or a job or whatever. But in that gap is the freedom for you to realign and allow yourself to connect deeper with yourself in ways that you weren't able to with the current environment, to truly allow the miracles to pour forth.
Mhm. How do you guide your clients also to navigate the gap in, and I know a lot of y'all I know feel this. I don't have community. I feel alone. I feel isolated in what I'm carrying. Um, how is it that you see people are navigating those experiences and getting to the other level of perhaps that particular portal that I think is part of all of our initiations as we surrender more into that more integrate, connected to divinity part of ourselves.
Totally. Vitamin C is community, the ultimate
Mm.
nutrient,
Yes.
and what saved my life. And so we have a really beautiful community in our Dreamporting school from all over the world. And it's really a reflection of the parts of ourselves. So the more we integrate those parts of ourselves, then the more we'll see that community physically, externally come from around the world to connect with us, and our relationships integrate, right? It's as within, so without, as above, so below. And so I highly recommend just deepening your connections with those people you resonate with and joining more community. Because for me, like, I wouldn't be alive right now if I didn't have my community. That's really
Mhm.
the number one thing that's changed my life and supported me, because we absorb and learn so much from just being around people. So you can take this course, obviously, and these different things are really powerful, but also we learn from being, just transmitting from people, right? Like even on this call, you can feel the different people on this call, and in person, maybe even more, right? And so it's really about stepping into just deepening with the people that inspire you and that you resonate with, so that you can recode and your nervous system can relax and your biofield can integrate, because that's actually how we're designed to be as a tribe, and our systems are meant to regulate together. And so that's a really big piece of it that we've been
Yes,
missing.
wonderful. And I could really feel the power of a vibrational community. Again, when you asked us to hold a specific container for those that were going through an experience like Dana or Lavon, or Katie that were on the call, I could feel that coming together and the amplification and the buoying of a possibility to heal that much more quickly and for the vision to come in with that much more clarity. So it's to surrender our hearts and open to it, to community, to being received, to being part of something. It's available to us, and it's a beautiful part of the shift that
Yeah.
happens. Um, Amazing. All right. Well, again, y'all know where to find the special offer. I highly encourage you to dive in. And with that, let's continue some more Q&A. I'm loving the processing that we're going through. Let's go now to Heather. Let's go to you now. Welcome to the call.
Hello, John. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for having me very much.
Mm.
The question I had is, this is how I connect to people. This is my community. It's all virtual. I meet people in passing where I reside, but I don't have an actual group of people that I meet with in person, which is fine. Thank God for all this. But I've been wanting, and I've been saying for some time that I want to move, but I don't know where. And I don't know if that's like my soul or my ego. I'm not quite sure. As far as inspired action and messages for me to move in that direction, I feel like stagnant, but I want to move, but I don't know if I'm rushing
I
it.
have to take you through a quick exercise that everyone here can learn, where you can remote view the future by
Okay.
listening to your body. So let's
Mm.
do it. And if you want, as you're watching, then you could do it on a question of your choice. So let's take a moment just to clear your energy. So close your eyes, and we're just going to detach from the outcome, right? We're just going to trust that your body knows, your body can actually feel the future. So imagine this white light just cleansing your energy from head to foot, going into the earth, pulling out any attachments you have and tension. And just take a nice deep breath and make a sigh. So you have, you know, 2 or 3 options, right? So option 1 is you stay where you are. So I want you to imagine you just decide on that timeline and just focus on the feeling in your body. Don't worry about the thoughts. How does that feel in your body to just stay where you are? How would you describe it?
Heavy.
Heavy, yeah. So, okay, it's not that. Great. So timeline 2, where are you thinking of moving to? What's an option?
I don't even know, like go visit another country for a little
Yeah.
while.
There's a clue you've had before they're showing me. So what's a country that you've drawn to just to at least to visit, let's say.
I have a friend in Australia.
Okay. So let's imagine you at least just went on a trip to Australia in the near future. Just choose that timeline. How does that feel in your body?
Lighter,
Yeah,
like floating.
that feels really good to me. So maybe the next step, you don't know where you're going to live, but you're meant to go to Australia. Maybe you're going to meet someone in Australia that lives in Thailand. And you get, you know, we don't know, but all you need to know is the next step. And that's the power of trust, right? And when our mind thinks like, I need to see the whole, it's like, I want to know the whole movie before I watch it. Like that's why movies are so good. You don't know what's going to happen, right? And so we detached, and then your body is telling you, we don't know exactly what's going to happen in Australia, but we know it's going to be really freaking good. And that you're, you know, it's the next step. So what I would do is just tune in and book a flight there and trust. And then importantly, like once you're there, keep trusting, you know, and if you do the quest, for example, you'll channel like different places to go or things to do, little clues to help you align with those synchronicities. And that's going to align you to that new timeline. So I'm really excited for you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I appreciate it.
That feels amazing, Heather. I'd recommend that you do this process a few times,
Yeah,
or maybe every day for the next 3 weeks.
totally.
Like really to get into the energetic awareness and intimacy of what you're generating. You're just becoming more familiar how to tune into it, and it's informing you. I get into a process almost daily now for a couple of creations that are coming up, and it's what comes through is absolutely remarkable, not just in that particular creation, but the support and expansion that I feel in all of life in different ways that I wasn't tuned into before. So this is a powerful process. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel. And Heather, thank you for coming in and again being a proxy for that. Uh,
Thank you.
Blessing. Y'all, I was remiss earlier. There's actually something special that Daniel's bringing to us as well. Daniel, talk about the certification, why you're offering it, and what it entails, please.
Yeah, so this is what I'm most excited about because this is where I get to share with you how to do what I do. And again, right now I'm just doing like really mini ones. We can go so much deeper, but in 3 or 4 minutes, right, you're getting a shift, and you can learn how to do that, or more likely it's remember because it's already inside of you, and so much more, not just healing, but rapid awakening techniques to help people actually have this awakening experience, and also to manifest specific things on little pieces of paper to shift reality. Like business deals will come through, millions of dollars came through, like radical healing. And it's all from these dreamporting systems that I share. So whether or not you want to do this professionally, whether you're already doing it, or you're new, or you just want to do it for yourself or friends and family, it's my entire training and way more advanced meditations. And it includes the quest, obviously, so you can do that as well. But this is something we're doing live, and includes a 3-day virtual retreat where I activate your gifts one by one. So we get to spend some more intimate time together. And that's actually starting next week.
Oh,
So
wow.
we are actually starting that in just a few days. So that's called Illumination. And it also includes our academy, which is our membership, where I come on and all my favorite teachers and psychics and oracles, even the, you know, psychics that the presidents use. I literally tried thousands of them. I love collecting my favorites. And so you get to have some mini laser sessions and one-on-one readings and coaching with me. And you get that for a lifetime. So you get live access to our membership for life just by joining. So it's really insane because I like just going all in, a way to support you and just initiate you in this system so that you can use it for yourself and have all the advanced frequencies and meditations to anytime you want to forgive or reprogram or go in, you need, oh, I'm not getting clarity, let's activate your psychic abilities. It's all there for you.
Amazing. So for clarity's sake, if y'all are listening on the replay, say September 30th that we're having the live call. On what date does the certification start, Daniel?
Oh, that whole space and time thing. Let's see. I believe
Yeah.
that the, well, you can join now, and we're releasing the course on Friday, and then my initiation, my opening call is on the 7th, September 7th. So if you join in
October 7th.
days, sorry, October 7th, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. And how long is the certification process?
So that's an 8-week certification, and then there's a 3-day retreat at the end of it that you do online, so you can be anywhere. And then you get a lifetime access to it and all the upgrades. So every time I add more stuff, you get that for life. And my favorite part is that you get unlimited session trade. So instead of having to pay for sessions all the time, we have 400 people now in our group. Anytime someone needs help, they're like, oh, I'd love to share a session with you. Sometimes you get 3 or 4
Amazing.
people, right?
Oh, that's awesome. How do we access the certification? Because it's not in the special offer page for some reason.
Okay, so well, do you want to wait to put it up there, or
Yeah, we can put the link, or if we can type the link into the chat box. Maybe Chris, if it was in the write-up, if you can find that and type it into the chat box, we'll put it on there and we'll add it to the sales page as well.
yeah,
So
great. I
Chris,
mean, I sent you the link on my website, but we'll definitely put it up there, and then
awesome.
I would love for you to join, because that is just a lifelong yes to being supported and really learning what I feel is the most important. It's a life tutorial, because we're meant to teach children these things, how to shift vibrations. It's kind of like you have this TV and you don't get the remote, and you're like, okay, have a great life, but you don't
Right,
get to
yeah.
choose what's on the TV, right? So not anymore.
We get taught algebra and geometry in school, but then what?
Don't get me started on the rabbit hole of school. It's
We won't go there right now. We'll get into some live calls here in a second. Dreamporting starts October 7th with the first live call. Again, you'll get more information. The link's in the chat box now that Daniel put in. Um, we'll add it to the sales page as well. Chris is finding it from what we have, so there'll be more information on that. And is there an application process or a sign-up process and people can join?
We have a free call if you want to ask questions and find out what's best for you, to really tune in with our amazing team. So you can also just sign up. We'll put that link on the website, so you can get a free call if you're on the fence.
Great. And y'all just let them know that you came from BTO, and it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, let us know, and we give you a special bonus.
Nice. I love it when we get special bonuses, y'all. This is exciting. I love the certification, and again, to be able to guide other people in this, but to have those tools for ourselves also. Um, and that's my human design, y'all. I'm a 3/6 line, so I have to try everything. I have to stand up, fall down, run, sprint, scrape my knee. But then after I do it, I get to master and then I get to teach it. And for me, there's no better way. Some of y'all can just hear things and you're off to the races. Um, so it's, again, whatever style learning that you are, it's such a benefit to have these tools for just our own journey and knowing that we can impact that at whatever time we choose to, depending what shows up and what we're ready to have a relationship with and expand with. Um, all right, y'all, let's continue now. Let's go to some more callers. Janice, welcome to the call.
Thank you. Hi, John. Hi, Daniel. Funny enough, I found myself here and I just signed up, so I really didn't catch the beginning of this, but I did a couple of the processes along with the ones that you did live calls in. Interesting experience. But I just wanted to say thank you for the one where I think it was with Katie and, tuning in. And during that, I felt like there was this baby across my stomach. And it was like, I didn't expect that. So I was working with that process, but that wasn't my question. I just wanted to share what I had gone through. I'm a teacher. So it was funny how you talked about teaching, and I've been trying to get out of teaching and just wondering what my talents and my gifts and my healing abilities are, because I've been saying I want to do this and I have not done this in 20 years, trying to move out of this stuck rut. So I found that baby kind of interesting. It felt like I was birthing something. So I wanted to put those two pieces together.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Well, why don't we close our eyes and tune in together? And I want you to just, yeah, close your eyes and let's just take a deep breath. See if we can relax your jaw and your shoulders, just let everything go. And I want you to imagine there's a star a few inches above your head. And we're just going to open your 8th chakra together, which has in it your deeper life purpose. Just imagine that opening and starting to stream light down into your crown and all the way down. And you might start getting some clues, even some childhood memories, little breadcrumbs of things you loved and creative. You know, I'm seeing a lot of creative energy, actually, very unique creative energy there.
All I'm seeing is stars.
Well, maybe you're meant to be a star. What do you enjoy most when you interact with people?
I get lit up when they get excited, when you're helping people and they get the aha moments because, like I said, there's the teaching ability that I have that I've done in the school system, but now I want to step out of the school system and bring the creative and healing parts together.
Yeah, that's what I see. I mean, I see it's a very creative way of doing it, and it's almost setting up the stage so that people can get those insights. And they, instead of teaching, you're basically inciting those inner teachings in people from giving them the right, from creative experiences and from support. So I would definitely step into, learning more how to transmit energy
Okay.
and those universal laws so that you can really trust yourself.
Yeah, I think that was the part was always feeling like a control freak and not trusting. So the trust piece was helpful that we would move through some of that.
Yeah, when did that start?
Trust part or the lack of trust part. um, I I get the age 3.
Yeah. Do you want to go in there for a moment?
Sure.
So let's just connect to the 3-year-old. And I want you to ask her, what do you need in order to let go and let life take us on the ride again?
Mm. It feels like, the lack of trust in God. I severed that connection.
Yeah. And did one of your parents, were they pretty hard on you? Which,
I
because
would say both, but mostly my mom.
yeah, yeah. And I feel like when when she's overly hard and critical on you and just kind of shutting you down, what happens is we project that onto God.
Mm.
So what we're going to do is actually just realize that your parent and your mom, she what did she show me too? She just had a lot of brain inflammation. There was just a lot of toxins and also trauma and different things, and she just was really overwhelmed and had a very short fuse. Right? She didn't have a lot of patience. She didn't know what patience really was. So we're just going to, that's the irritation that makes the pearl. So you can really help so many people now. But the divine gifted you this to give you this pearl. And so I invite you to just open back up to that divine energy, right? Especially that divine motherly energy.
Mm.
We're just gonna just all feel that together into our hearts and beam that to Janice from our heart to her heart. And I want you to just kind of let yourself really receive it and soften. Yeah, you're safe to feel it. Especially directly to that 3-year-old now. And we're just telling the 3-year-old that I'm sorry for waiting so long, but I recommit to your dreams. So just feel that. And how does she respond as you say that to her?
Like just the arms are open, just like wanting to be received and loved.
All right, so open your arms back and let's give her a hug. And what do you want to tell her to recommit to your purpose? What are you going to choose and surrender to?
Joyful and playful.
So let's ask your soul, what is the next step? What is the next leap so that you can actually take that big step into your new timeline?
Just put my foot down and move into it.
Just do it. Yeah. You got this. You're so ready. It's the perfect time. Yeah. How does that feel in your body to choose that?
Very tingly.
That's your soul coming back to life in your body, just reconnecting with, right, more of your soul in your body as we align with our purpose.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And can you feel your feet kind of landed on the earth more?
It was like I took this big, huge, giant chasm step and it was like, boom.
Totally. That's a good sign. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Janice. I'm happy for you.
Whoa. Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
It's really emotional, but yep, we're good.
Thank you, love. Blessings to you.
Thank you.
Finding and walking your passion. I don't think you're finding it. I think you're walking it. Amazing. All right, let's continue here. This is so good, y'all. Kathy, let's go to you now. Welcome.
Thanks, John. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Hi. I have been, well, I've worked with a lot of people that John has had and some other people, and I feel like I don't know, just in this holding pattern. Like I should be further along. And I know I probably have a lot of things still to clear out, but I feel like, I know it's a journey and there's always going to be work to do, but there's something innate with me that feels like I should be further along. And a lot of people I've worked with said that I have a lot of gifts, and um, and I'm supposed to be healer, and I actually do have a lot more heat and energy coming out of my hands, especially my dominant right. But I don't feel called to study, like a modality. And I really am in a place where I really don't know how I'm supposed to be helping people. I mean, I innately do that. I always have. And I do that on a basic level with like health and nutrition. I was ill for years and I studied, and, so that's my way for just every day, right? Family and friends. And I want to do a little homeopathy and things like that. But for a bigger scale, I don't mean like, large platform. I just mean to come into my gifts and kind of evolve into what I.
So is your question how to be more clear about your gifts and utilize them, or what's
Yeah,
your specific
yeah.
question?
Well, it's great to tell me that I'm gifted and have all these gifts, but if I don't really, I'm not getting that clarity, how is that going to help me or other people? I just feel like I'm in a, I feel like limbo, for lack of a better word.
Let's see what Daniel's picking up on. Yeah.
Did you have any experiences when you were younger where you felt like you weren't catching up to others and you were behind?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm curious because you're saying, you've said a few times like you're meant to be somewhere else, and I'm wondering kind of where that came from. I'd love to explore that.
Well, I don't know. In school, I was always, grade school, I was always the high end, like top of the class.
Okay.
In high school, I went, with the 1,000 girls. So I was kind of like the maybe top of it, like the three quarters, because it was very, a lot more people smarter than me. And then when I finally put myself through college, I, did very well, even though I had awful circumstances I was experiencing. So.
Yeah, well, it seems like, you had some health issues and you feel like you kind of go down and come back up. And, I had those too, and they come with a new paradigm. So let's really tune into what's the gifts there. So why don't you close your eyes and let's all just rub our hands together and send Kathy some love and helping her just kind of ground into her body. And let's connect with your 8th chakra, that little star above your head, just opening it and streaming it down. You might start seeing a symbol or colors or a vision, a message. Just trust whatever comes first in regards to your gifts. Hmm. What I'm seeing is an alchemy where you're using, not just, this is just one of the things you can do is using herbs and oils, and your knowledge of health with healing and actually energy, and combining it so that you can just kind of guide people and just kind of alchemize the different things that you know. I see someone laying down and you're just kind of like rubbing this kind of like these herbal oils on them and helping open them up and channeling messages and energy. And this old kind of ancient medicine woman kind of energy comes through for you. I think a lot of people are feeling that. So let's just, if that resonates, just let's just open that up and like call her in, and your past life gifts. And I already feel them streaming through your body, just down your spine, and just remembering them, remembering who you really are, and that all the hardships in your life have nothing to do with who you are. They were just forging you. And we're just kind of opening that channel again. And just opening your heart to yourself, really loving yourself and honoring what you came through to get here, and breathing in peace into where you are right now, and trusting that you can't rush a masterpiece. So I want you to say that to yourself. That's the mantra they're giving you.
Yeah, I feel a lot of movement. Oof, coming down my head.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I usually do feel energy, but that's a lot. But yeah, I just have been recently thinking that trying to do a little bit of homeopathy and different things, but I'm not sure. I've been dowsing personally for myself for about 5 years now, and
Well, let's be in what Daniel's offering right now. Let's just be in that
yeah,
as what's coming through and the feeling of that, which is wonderful. Daniel, any suggestions for Kathy and for anybody else that's experiencing for integration as so much energy is coming through?
Yeah, I think, there's just this element, you've been through a lot, and what happens is the soul wants to just kind of dissociate or just kind of go back into the mind, right? And I have that sometimes. So it's really just about regulation now, really going into that way where just learning how to stay a little bit longer, right? And just kind of feel. And what happens is the more we stay, the more clarity we get. Because it's really the mind that is confusing us and
Yep.
what's got us in these issues. And so we don't have to think about it or the pros and cons or the things or look for it. The more we just kind of stay, the more those things come to us, right? So I feel like we definitely opened up a channel, and the more you can kind of just bathe in that now, it's going to just continue working on you for sure.
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Blessings too.
Thank you.
And staying in that space, it's a practice and a muscle that we get to flex. I've been guiding people into staying into non-local reality, 0 points, if you want that still space. But sometimes I can only hold it 15 seconds, and sometimes I can hold it 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just a question of if my mind wants to come in, I'm like, no, I'm going a little bit longer. And I just kind of build up to it, allowing just the grace of what my body feels safe in receiving, what's activating, knowing that I can go beyond what my mind believes I'm safe in receiving, but also receiving the gift and the vitalization of that still space. It starts building up. And so we don't start being so quick to get into the mental processing. We actually start calling in that stillness, because there's so much happening there, even though we're doing nothing and we know it and we're benefiting from it. But it's a practice and slow breaths, just reminding ourselves. It's like, oh, look how quickly I left. Let me just come back, because there's something that wants to be gifted here that I'm open to receiving. And I know what running feels like, running my mind feels like, and I want to feel something different. So let me just choose to feel something different. Just
Totally.
choosing the decision, Daniel, like you said earlier.
Yeah, it's just like shifting gears, and our brainwaves aren't like the different gears. And so that's why I like embedding that extra layer of those frequencies that entrain us to go back to those brainwaves. We even have one for the genius frequency that we, which is
Nice.
right in between alpha, beta, very thin layer where the geniuses operate. And so you can actually train yourself to activate that. And so it just takes practice, and you slow down to speed up. And I learned this the hardest myself. My number one thing was to just dissociate and escape my whole life because I had so much trauma. But again, that was creating more of it because it was coming from that same place, right? Of that duality. And so the more we can just kind of sit with ourselves and trust and just practice being there, as hard as it might seem at first, what happens is you feel it, you heal it. It just naturally absorbs your soul, and your body heals on its own, right? Just by being in your body, right? You could see with the second to last caller here, how she just like really grounded right away. And so we're all practicing that together, and it's really beautiful to just prioritize that, because that's when the miracles really happen.
And that's when we cross the portal into creating new dimensions. Again, it's the healing gets us to the doorway, to the gateway. The holding the space allows us to go through that gateway and start creating and in greater capacity, which is wonderful. Y'all, this program, Dreamporting with Daniel, again, downloading superpowers, remote viewing your future, activating your senses, having these techniques from entrainment techniques that are going to help you facilitate a certain state of vibration that's going to allow the amplification and the speed of which to integrate what's coming through also. It's amazing. The special offer, y'all know where to find it. Click on the special offer button. You can always find it in our marketplace. If you want to know more about the certification, the link is in the chat box. We'll add that to the sales page later as well. Highly recommend that you guys at least jump on the free call to see if it's for you. But if you know this is something that you want, Daniel's available right there. So it's wonderful. Um, Daniel, this has been so cool. You mentioned that you were really excited about your certification, and I didn't ask you, but what makes you excited about it?
Well, what makes me most excited about it is that it's really joining our family and seeing people actually share their unique gifts themselves. And it's one thing to obviously just receive and upgrade, but it's so much more beautiful when you realize, oh, I'm a wizard too, and it's like you get to share it to yourself, to others, to the world. And so that's really what it's all about. We're shifting out of the guru, paradigm, and realizing, like Thich Nhat Hanh said, the next Buddha is a Sangha, a community. And together, by sharing and weaving together our gifts and activating them, that's how we create a more beautiful world.
Amazing, amazing. Daniel, thank you for coming on and for sharing and for opening up again community, for opening up that what's active in us is just a question of just, flipping the switch, and realizing just how graceful and easeful it can be. Look how quickly y'all got to that space. It's wow, a couple of minutes, right? For each one of you, and then we all benefited from that. So amazing work. Thank you for doing what you're doing and for sharing in such a generous way.
Yeah, thank you. And I would love to connect more with all of you watching and share more of these transmissions with you. So lots of love. And thank you so much, John. It's been an honor to be here with the fellow wizard. We got to do some more magic together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my God. And y'all are, yeah, this community, y'all are freaking amazing. Thank you for just choosing to show up and just shining. Even if you don't think you're shining, trust me, you are. You are. So blessings to you all. I bow down to each one of you in namaste. And I look forward to seeing you all on our next call. Bye, everybody.